Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Auntie Karen Beyond the Cards, and we are going to talk about a very hot topic that often stirs a lot of conversation and controversy within the spiritual community. We are going to be talking about all the different labels that we have to describe soul connections. We have heard twin flame, true twin flame, false twin flame, karmic, and soulmate. We've heard about soul contracts and strong soul connections, and let's just walk through the myths and what I believe and have come to discover resonates for me as being truth at the time that I'm making this video. Many of you know that I have some videos on my other channel, Enchanted Cottage 333, where I read tarot. I have playlists where I talk about twin flames in a lot of detail. You may have heard some of what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to dig into some areas that I did not touch on so closely there, because as I learn, things get deeper, and I explain more as I learn things myself. Okay, one thing that I do talk about over there, the whole thing and how the whole twin flame idea was started within the spiritual community goes back to the days of Plato. Plato made a statement. He was very philosophical. Many of you know that. He made a statement that when we are born at a soul level, we are born with 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads, and then there's this splitting where we go off and we're searching for the other half of our being. And therein lies the foundation of what many of us have heard in the twin flame community. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think, this is my truth, okay, about how souls are formed, how they are, we have soul ties with people and soul connections, okay? We're going to put those labels over to the side right here as we talk about this. Okay, it is my belief that everyone, originally, our soul is divine source energy. We literally split off, and over time, the number of souls grows, okay? And this to me is evidenced by the growth of the world population, okay? I believe that the closer you are to another soul at the point of these split offs, if you will, okay, much like a family tree, except this is a soul family tree, the closer the relationship, in that, the more intense the connection and the stronger the recognition. We're going to talk in here about mirroring, runner chaser. We're going to talk about soul contracts. We are going to talk about what the divine is really about. And we are going to talk about those intense connections and the intensity, how it all happens. I believe the intensity oftentimes is related to how close we are together related on the family tree. It is my personal belief that there is no such thing as a half a soul, okay? And that is my personal belief. Do I believe that intense energy can exist between 2 individuals? Without a doubt. I have experienced it, and I have experienced it 3 different times in a romantic situation, and I have experienced it several times within my family dynamic as well, okay? I do believe there are purposes. Now, I believe that a lot of times these instant connections come down to the type of bonding that is there. There is a term that I have run across called trauma bonding. And it is not only emotional bonding, it is literally a biological reaction, a biological craving of another person. And how it gets stronger over time. And, mental health professionals, and I am not that, but I'm just quoting what I have seen, will say that it does not go away. It's very, very hard to leave in situations where a dynamic has had trauma or abuse. That strengthens the bond, okay? Even though there may be an abuser and somebody who's abused, okay, or somebody who is, a narcissist or acting in narcissistic ways, okay, which, by the way, the narcissist thing, that's a way overused word. There are people in the world who are full-blown narcissists, but many of us can have narcissistic type behaviors of one sort or another, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit trail too much. But many times, then when there is this trauma bond that happens, we, as individuals, if we have trauma bonded to somebody, it will be like an instantaneous connection. The magnetism is absolutely indescribable, mysterious, and something that we may not have any idea how to kick. We feel haunted in the mind by this person many times when we're in separation. It's harder to enforce boundaries in a dynamic where there has been trauma bonding. There has been, like I said, the experiencing by the dynamic, by the people involved in the relationship, of extreme situations, okay? And I will say this, research has shown time and again that if we as individuals have grown up in a home life with trauma, or a lot of chaos, abuse, and that sort of thing, we are much more likely to develop those unhealthy trauma bonds into adulthood, okay? And when we do, they hold more power than if we had not had that experience in our childhood. Okay, traumatized people respond more deeply, okay? The reason is because it makes them feel and easily attach more so to a chaotic and inconsistent person. By definition, people who are traumatized as children are more likely to be more subconsciously attracted to people who are chaotic, inconsistent, breadcrumbing in and out, love bombing and then, withdrawing, and, maybe even people that ghost you or treat you badly in any kind of a way like that. The urge to contact a person that you have a trauma bond with when you are in separation is overwhelming, and it feels like an addiction. It is a biological craving. And much like a lot of addictive substances can rewire the brain, so can a trauma bond. So it is literally an addiction. And again, and I talked about this some in a video that I did, may have been yesterday, it's not that we're looking for the wrong thing, we're just looking for it in the wrong place, okay? And it's that obsessive addiction that we are talking about here. And that is actually many times what is mistaken as the instant connect, where you see that described as a property of a twin flame connection. Okay, so let's talk about mirroring, because we hear that word tossed around a lot in the twin flame community. And I want to touch on that a little bit and give you Auntie Karen's take on what is really going on with mirroring. Many dynamics, especially as we are along this path, the whole point is a learning from the point that we are born until the point that we quit breathing, and probably even beyond. But when you meet people, often they mirror you, okay? And if someone is brought into your life for lessons, okay, and many times that is the case, particularly in romance, okay, they're going to mirror you in a very intense way, okay? They will bring out those things within you that you didn't even know were there. They will just absolutely magnify. It's not only mirroring, but it is bringing light things that are in your subconscious that you didn't even know about, and I often say, my person that I used to call a twin flame, brought out behaviors in me, and I allowed that, okay? I had no idea how horrible and mean I could be, and neither did he, okay? We did that to each other. We mirrored each other. Okay, some people call that a description of a twin flame dynamic. What's really going on is like attracts like. This is science, okay? Albert Einstein spoke to that. It is just science, and it is just the way that energy behaves, okay? So the reason that people mirror each other has nothing to do with that they're the other half of the person or they're supposed to be with the person, and everything to do with like attracts like. And I have heard it said that on, as you raise your vibration, that you have a twin flame for every level. Okay, what that is you are going to meet people along the way who are going to mirror you, because you are attracting like energy. It's like attracts like, okay? So that is really what's going on. It has very little to do with a soul type, and you probably do have a soul connection, okay? But it has everything to do with energetically where you are from a vibrational standpoint. Let's talk about runner chaser. Runner chaser, the reason for this thing, and that is often associated with the twin flame dynamic. The runner, the chaser, then we heal and we get back together kind of thing. That's kind of the narrative. First of all, what you chase is going to run from you, okay? And if you have a trauma bond, trust and believe, you're going to chase, okay? So many times that is mistaken as a twin flame dynamic when it is just strictly something that is really rooted in toxicity, okay? But one of the basic laws of energy, and a lot of you heard me say this, is what we chase is going to elude us. That is not just true with romance, a person, money, whatever the case may be. It is going to run from you. Okay, that is just law of attraction. It has really nothing to do with the twin flame narrative. Okay, and let's talk about free will. Okay, and how that comes into play with regard to the whole twin flame narrative. And I've heard it said many times that your true twin flame will never treat you bad. They won't cheat on you. They won't abuse you. Well, I submit to you that we all have free will. Okay. We all have the capability to behave however we want toward whoever we want. Okay? Point blank period. Point blank period. Okay? Without a doubt. Secondly, let's talk about free will. Just because you heal doesn't mean a person is going to return. You cannot heal another person by healing yourself. You can heal only yourself. They have to heal theirself. They may or may not, ever. Okay, we can hope that, but we can't make it happen. There's no guarantees. And so in the twin flame narrative, we are supposed to just, many of us, I know people, I've heard of people talking about waiting 10, 15, 20 years. That's wasted time in your life, okay, that you've stayed stuck where you could go on and enjoy your life, okay? So let's talk about soul contracts, okay, and lessons and ascension. The divine uses romance as a tool to get our attention, okay, and oftentimes we have agreed to these things before we ever incarnate into the lifetime that we are in, and it is a part of an agreement that we make. And there are a lot of different theories about why we do that. Some people say it's a game, and we just say, hey, let's do this, it'll be fun. You hurt me and I'll be heartbroken, and let's experience that. And I know that makes people shake their head like, why would I agree to that? Well, probably for the same reason you like to go on scary roller coasters or scary horror movies or whatever. Sometimes things just don't make sense. I can see that argument. It is my belief. I'm not negating that belief, but my personal feeling is, while that may be true, what I lean more towards is there is a contract where there is an agreement that somebody is going to do something that is going to help you to learn some things about yourself and ascend and grow and heal some things within your soul. And that's what I believe. Both could be true, neither could be true, but those are my theories, okay? But it is part of ascension and coming into realizing your divine power and who you really are and your authenticity. And trust and believe, and it is my opinion that while the divine does like for us to be happy, that is not really what these intense connections are about. They are always about lessons and soul contracts, okay? That's why the mirroring takes place, the runner chaser. It's all to teach you the truth of these things, not to get you stuck, but to help you to heal things about yourself. For example, the reasons why you might trauma bond with someone, okay? The reason why you feel haunted and you just cannot get a person out of your head after months and, weeks and months and years sometimes, okay? And I'm speaking from my own experience. And the universe has backup plans, okay? Maybe have someone in your past or what have you that you feel like is the person that you want to be with. Well, they have a free will. They may never come back around, but you got to heal and move on, okay? Don't put your life on hold for a person. There is nobody that you are destined to be with, okay? There is not a meant to be. When people come together, it is about a decision to work and make something happen, and whether or not there is compatibility and that they're energetically aligned, that they have similar goals, all of those things, and if they're willing to bend and flex on things to mesh and come together, okay? But so let's get back to Plato, and when he talked about everybody going around and looking for the other half of themselves. Who you're really looking for is yourself, the other half of you, okay? That's what this is really about, is finding you. The other half of you is in that shadow, and that is integration of the shadow self, right? And all of this, all of these, the propensities to have these beliefs, these very limiting beliefs that will keep you stuck, really has to do with beliefs in our shadow that needs to be healed, okay? Very, very easy to get caught up in this, what I believe is a mythical teaching. There are people out there who are in very beautiful connections that they call twin flames. They're not many. I do not believe they're twin flames. I do believe they are closely related on the soul fam tree, okay? And so yes, it is possible, but more than likely, when you have two people that come together and there is a breakup and a separation, there is no guarantee that both people are going to heal and come back together. The odds are just not in the favor, okay? First of all, only 30% of dynamics reconcile, and of those 30%, 4.5% stay together. So and the reason is because when people come back together, the reason they fall apart again is because it takes both people working on themselves to heal vibrationally what caused the debacle to begin with. And so it's just a repeat. But the sad thing is when it repeats, it hurts worse, okay? The person that I used to refer to as my twin, I now lovingly call my catalyst, and at a soul level, I'm very thankful to that individual because he honored a soul contract, okay, and helped me to work through some things and heal some things within myself, okay. And so at a soul level, I'm very thankful, okay. I have not talked to this person in a long years, and I don't ever look to. I have no expectation, and finally, I can wish him well and his new partner, and I hope they're doing well. I really don't know. I don't keep up with that. I got to a place finally where I don't, have to stalk that person's social media or ask mutual friends or whatever the case may be. I can't say that my path hasn't crossed his, but we have not actually had communication, and I doubt that we ever will. And, because this person has free will and appears to be happy, okay? Who am I to question that? If I have a problem where I want him and his person to break up, and I'm going to call this woman a karmic, which many people in the twin flame community would, okay, that is not love. If I love this person, I'm going to want them to be happy regardless and have no expectation that they are supposed to be with me. No, I mean, if I don't make them happy, if I don't float their boat, it's selfish of me to want that person to come back and be in a dynamic that he is not happy in, okay? That's more bordering on the obsession that we talked about earlier versus love. When you love somebody unconditionally means to remove the conditions that you can't stand it if they're not with you, and that you don't want them to be happy with anybody else, and that you're only going to be happy if they're with you. Okay, that's very selfish and very obsessive and addictive, and really probably speaks to trauma bonding. So I understand that this is not going to be popular words that I have said, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind it at all. You guys know me probably well enough to know by now I do not back away whenever it's time that I feel I speak my truth. So, and this is why I will not do twin flame readings, because quite honestly, I don't believe in twin flames at all. I believe in intense connections and strong soul relationships where people are related to you at a soul level. Okay, and that is what my beliefs are. I personally have experienced not one, not two, but 3 romantic connections that were all crazy intense, very much could meet the qualifications of the twin flame dynamic. Okay, so at any rate, thank you for watching me. Many blessings, and I hope you guys have a great night. I will talk to you again very soon.